Professor Uhlenbrook, good afternoon. Could you say a few words on who you are and what organizations you are representing?
Thank you very much. My name is Stefan Uhlenbrook. I'm with the UN World Water Assessment Program. It's a program of UNESCO. UNESCO has quite a strong division in water sciences, and the World Water Assessment Program is one of the two water programs of UNESCO. The other one is the International Hydrology Program of UNESCO.
Yeah, my other question was what water has to do with UNESCO and how does it fit in there?
Yeah, well, many people connect to the term UNESCO, mainly the E, which stands for education, and the C stands for culture, but there's also an S, standing for science. And water sciences is absolutely essential, and we look at it in a very horizontal way. Water penetrates to all the different sectors, and it's a very essential part of the science program. Yeah.
Thank you. And I've been given this, I know what it is. This is the SDG on water and sanitation. What UNESCO is doing on this and how to achieve the Agenda 2030?
Well, thanks. That's a very valid question, certainly standing in front of this wall. And we're doing many things. At the one hand, we are involved in the monitoring of SDG 6. So there's a UN water monitoring effort going on, looking at the different targets of SDG 6. SDG 6 is the water and sanitation goal. UNESCO is also the co-custodian of one of the targets, 6.5.2, which put particularly emphasis on the transboundary component of water management. That's what we're doing, and furthermore, we are coordinating the so-called synthesis report on SDG 6. Let me explain a little bit what we mean by synthesis report. Every year, the HLPF, the High Level Political Forum, is looking at a number of SDGs and does a so-called in-depth investigation of where are we with this SDG and what are the key policy recommendations. SDG 6 will be investigated in-depth in 2018, and to assist the high-level political forum with the right information of where are we with SDG 6 and what are the policy perspectives, we produce a so-called synthesis report from UN Water. UN Water, it's a bit complicated to explain, but it's a coordinating mechanism of the UN. From UN Water, 11 agencies said, oh, we want to join forces, and instead of writing many reports and throwing maybe too much information to the HLPF, we decided carefully that it's much better to have a synthesis report, which first will demonstrate where are we, so demonstrating the numerical indicators and interpreting where are we with these indicators. Second, looking at the intra-linkages. With intra-linkages, we mean how the target 6.1 depends on 6.5. So for instance, how the access to improved water supply actually depends on integrated water resources management. And the third component is how does SDG 6, how does that link to all the other SDGs? You know, how does SDG 6 links to food security, gender equality, education, energy security, etc., etc. And we really hope to provide some quantitative insights into this.
Thank you very much. That makes a lot of sense. And just going back to what you mentioned before, the World Water Development Report, can you say a little bit more about the topics and how this is supporting member states in achieving the Agenda 2030?
Yeah, thank you. Well, the World Water Development Report is an annual report nowadays. Since 2014, it is published annually. It always has different topics that are set by the UN system. This year, for instance, we just published the report on wastewater. And it's not yet another report on wastewater. It really puts emphasis on wastewater as a resource. It demonstrates that wastewater is not a burden, a nuisance, which we want to get rid of and which we discharge to the environment. No, it really demonstrates the potential of wastewater. It's a resource. The term wastewater is already wrong. Maybe we should call it used water, like in the French language, or a resource water, because it has water which can be reused for irrigation and other purposes. It has organic material that can be used to produce energy, so clean energy production. But it also has interesting metals, certainly industrial wastewater, or nutrients that can be used as a fertilizer. So that's one example. And currently we work on the next report, which is on nature-based solutions. And that's another very relevant topic to inform member states of what to do to achieve the SDG whole agenda, not only SDG 6, but in the 2030 perspective.
Maybe do you have a final statement to conclude and to share for the European Development Days?
Well,
From the water perspective.
from the water perspective, you know, that water, we as the global community, we cannot afford to miss out on SDG 6. Maybe that's the main message.
Thank you very much, Professor Uhlenbrook.
Thank you.